Shalom everyone. This is the very first video, the premiere, hopefully if all goes well, of Torah Chef. My name is Greg. I am your Torah Chef. I am going to present you the first recipe. Like I said, this will either be our first recipe that we get out on YouTube, or it'll be a blooper reel for later. So be kind to me. We will do the best we can, and I promise we'll get better at doing this as we go. But I wanted to share a recipe with you today. It is a pizza crust recipe. It is gluten-free. It is keto if you follow the instructions that I'm doing now. It is low carb, and it is quite delicious. It's actually just as good or better than most pizza that you buy at a restaurant. And I'm pretty particular about pizza crust. So I developed this recipe. I've got a son that and a wife. They're both gluten intolerant for the most part, especially my son. He can't have gluten, and he's in the autism spectrum, so he's very, very, very particular about his food, and he's very picky, and he loves pizza. I can tell you, if it passes the test for him, then it's good. So let's get right down to it. I've got a few ingredients laid out here for you. I will share the exact measurements in the description, because I want to make sure that that you have everything exactly. So we are going to start with 2 eggs. Spend the money, get good eggs. Also, before you do this, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees so that you're ready to go there, and we can get into pizza making. All right, so 2 eggs. Give them a good whisk. We're going to put in about 1/3 cup of almond flour. It's basically just almond meal, ground almonds. High protein, gluten-free, good oils, healthy stuff. So we're going to go ahead and whisk that all in there. We're going to add a little bit of crushed garlic. I've got 2 cloves here. That's going to be zesty. If you don't like that kind of zesty raw garlic flavor, go ahead and use a little garlic powder. You can omit it. This stuff is all optional. The one ingredient you definitely need to add is a little bit of baking powder. That's going to give you a little bit of that leavening and that rise in the crust. The fact that this is egg-based, the egg gives you kind of that chewiness that you're going to be missing from the gluten. The almond flour gives you that just the right amount of mealiness to give you some texture. And then we're also going to put in about 1/4 cup of cheese, shredded cheese. Probably a little more, maybe 1/3. Like I said, I'll have the exact amount in the description below. I also like to add a few spices to this. I put a little bit of fennel seed in there, a little bit of oregano, a little basil, and this is all dry, just good quality stuff. A little bit of black pepper, some parsley, and a good couple of teaspoons of salt. There we go. You want to combine that well. And what you're going to end up with, and you might have to add just a couple of tablespoons of water or milk or something like that, because you want this to look like a thick, kind of a thick waffle batter. Now I've got warming up over here. Oh, I put a little bit of olive oil in there too. So just put a few drops in there. Buy good olive oil. It's good for you. It tastes good. It gives you a nice flavor. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan that I've got kind of warmed up here. This is a non-stick 10-inch kind of skillet here. And we're basically kind of making an omelet that we're going to bake. So just want to make sure that's nicely warmed, and just kind of put it in there. So the important part of this step is that you get the bottom browned. Now you can make it a thin crust if you want. You can make it a thicker crust. I find that this 2-egg version is perfect for this 10-inch pan, because it gives you kind of a thin to medium crust. And we'll just get it up there to a little bit of higher temperature. We're going to brown the bottom while you're doing that. I like to get a pan with a rack. And we'll save some of this. All the rest of this stuff is for making pizza, so we'll get that out of the way. Pan with a rack. We're going to bake it on here. Like I said, we want a nice crust on the bottom. It's very important. Otherwise, this just isn't quite as good. I like a little bit of browning on my pizza on the crust, no matter what kind it is. So here we go. We're just starting to get, and once this gets up to the right consistency, it almost looks like you're making a big pancake in here, but it's firm because it has the cheese. It's a little more dense. And I just, this is my tool of choice, a little heat resistant silicone rubber spatula. Alternatively, you could just, if you don't have a plastic handle on your pan, if you have a metal handle, you can throw this right in the oven. But because I don't really want to, one, I want to be able to control the browning on the bottom, and two, I don't really want to put this this particular pan in the oven. I'm going to slide it off onto this rack, and we're going to finish it in there and let it go for about 10 minutes. So, and this will take about 2 or 3 minutes. You don't want it too hot. You don't want to burn the bottom. You want kind of a medium low to medium heat. You want to regulate it. And it should be able to just slide around in the pan once you get to that point. And this is a brand new, using an induction burner, so it's new to me. But so far so good, it seems. Almost getting a little bit of toasted almond smell. What I'm doing is I'm just making sure it's staying separated around the edges. Taking a look, taking a peek at the bottom, seeing the browning. And it'll look almost dry on top when it's ready. Kind of like making a pancake. It'll bubble a little bit, then you'll get a little bit of drying in there, and then I just want it to be firm enough to be able to slide out, because like I said, we're putting this in the oven, and it will do the rest of its job in there. So I think we're there now. I'm going to very carefully slide this off onto, it's not going to be perfect sometimes, so slide this off onto that surface. Let's turn that off. I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'll see you in a few minutes when it's ready. Been about 10 minutes. Let's go check our pizza crust. It's looking pretty good. Should be a little dry on top. It's not going to be the prettiest thing just yet, but we're going to work on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rack off, and we're going to just line this pan with some parchment paper and bring it on over, and we're going to turn this beautiful crust into a pizza. So we'll let that go over there. All right, now this is where you just do whatever you want to. I personally will do something simple, just so you can see how it turns out. I've got some nice crushed San Marzano tomatoes. San Marzano tomatoes are specifically grown in a region of Italy, kind of close to Mount Vesuvius, and that beautiful volcanic soil. Costs a little bit more, but you know you're getting quality. It's actually even regulated by the government agencies there for consistency, quality, where it's from, what kind of tomato they're using. So I'm putting a little San Marzano tomato on there, and because I love olive oil, I'm going to just put a little drizzle of olive oil on there. We'll put some, I've got a blend of mozzarella and provolone. Definitely suggest shredding your own, but hey, in a pinch, use what you got to use. So there we go, a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. And we'll put a few pieces of turkey pepperoni on there. I know my son loves his pepperoni pizza, so I'm sure he's going to enjoy this. And then just to finish it, a little pinch of oregano. Maybe a little pinch of parsley. And just a pinch of, use a little Himalayan sea salt. So we're going to put this back in the oven. Going to cook it, and I'll be back again in just a couple of minutes, and we'll see how it looks and how it tastes. All right, we are back, and I think our pizza is almost done. It looks pretty good. Like I said, the beautiful thing about this is once you know how to make the crust, and you can substitute gluten-free all-purpose flour, or probably chickpea flour, a lot of things. It's really the egg that holds it together. But one thing I want to hopefully remind you guys to do, please, right now while you have the opportunity while I'm pulling this pizza out, is to like, share, and subscribe. Or you can subscribe, like, and share. However you want to do it, we'd appreciate it. We want to get these videos out to people. Like I said, as we grow, as I grow, and we do more of this, we'll be able to enhance and make it better and make it all greater. So I do appreciate your support. Let's go check on our pizza now. Remember to turn the oven off when you're finished using it. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. So, and don't worry, I'll bring it close to you all so everyone can see it. The good thing about this pizza as well is those people that can throw down on pizza. I've been guilty as such myself many times. This is filling because it's a lot of protein. We're just going to put it on a plate so that we can bring it around it to you. I have a trash can over here. Not really. It just fell on the floor. But let's slice this guy up and see how it does. We'll slice it in thick slices, in 6 slices, I should say. That smells good. Winston's going to really like this. My son, he's already saying daddy pizza, so that is proof that it turned out pretty good. Alright, so let's just flip this thing around so I can see what I'm doing here. There is your close-up. I'll put a couple of still pics in there. One thing you can notice is it does have some nice kind of structure to it. You get that cheese stretch, if you can see it. The lights aren't really set up for me to get close. But there it is. This is a keto pizza. This thing is like almost no carbs. It's healthy if you're okay with good fats and oils, especially if you're using a grass-fed cheese. And it's keto. So, and it's gluten-free. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you try this recipe, you share it with your friends, and I really hope that we have lots more content. I pray you all do well, and I bid you shalom.